Hello YouTube, this is God of Radio Moscow here again for you with another beer review. I've decided it's time for another American beer, so today I have gone for Blue Moon White Belgian style. So this beer was first produced in 1995 by the Blue Moon Brewing Company, who are based in Golden, Colorado, and this particular company is part of the 10th and Blake Beer Company, which is essentially the craft and import division of the Miller Coors Corporation, and it was originally created by a brewer called Keith Villa, who works at the Coors Fields Sandlot Brewery. Now in Canada, this beer is marketed as Ricard's White and it's brewed in Montreal, Quebec, but you can also pick up this particular version of it in the United States and in Europe as well. Now, Blue Moon have been criticised by the Brewers Association in the States for not stating on the bottle that the beer is made by Miller Coors, and the Brewing Association claim that this can mislead customers into thinking that this is a genuine independent craft brewery, which is not. It's part of the Miller Coors Corporation. But the beer has also been criticised by the Confédération de Brasserie de Belgique, the CBB, the Confederation of Belgian Brewers, because the product uses the term Belgian White. Now the CBB alleged that Coors advertising was misleading and could actually make American customers think that they were drinking a Belgian beer, a beer that was brewed in Belgium rather. And because of this, Blue Moon added to the bottles "Made in USA" in Belgian style in small print, but they refused to change the packaging or the advertising of the beer. But as you can see, mine here says North American Craft Beer, so I'm not quite sure exactly why my one says that, but this is the information I'm getting from the website. But anyway, the dispute between Blue Moon and the Belgian Brewing the Confederation of Belgian Breweries was settled out of court, and it resulted in Blue Moon changing the labelling to say Belgian style wheat ale, and the CBB now apparently distributes this beer throughout Europe. But the brewing company also produce Harvest Moon, which is a seasonal beer for September to December, and this contains pumpkin flavours and other autumn spices. There's also Full Moon, which is a winter seasonal beer and is brewed with natural flavours and has a caramel colour. There's Rising Moon, which is a spring blonde ale with citrus flavours, and there's also Pale Moon, which is a pale ale. So hopefully I can track these down at some stage and get those reviewed for you as well. But this particular one is a 5.4% white beer, and it contains malted barley, white wheat and oats. But I'll just get this guy opened up and we can have a little review of them. Just try and preserve the bottle cap because I like to keep these. Okay, I'll just play with the camera a little bit so you can have a look at the bottle cap and things. I'll just turn the autofocus back on and get this to see if it can focus in on it. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but you can see it's just got the little Blue Moon Brewing badge on it, which is quite cool. Now I'll just let you have a look at the bottle. I'll just turn the autofocus off again because you can see it quite well actually. Once it focuses in, there we are. So you can see it's actually got quite a nice label on it, this one, with the nice little forest and the blue thing going on there. You can see at the top it says Blue Moon Brewery, and you can just see, as I was talking about earlier, it says North American Craft Ale just here. But we'll get this guy out and have a little look at him. Now, as you can see, it's a very cloudy looking beer actually. Sometimes some people tend to drink this one with a slice of orange in it as well, which is quite interesting. I've not tried that before. I've had this one on draft before, but I personally didn't think it was that nice on draft. So I'm interested to see what the bottle one tastes like. But as you can see, it's a very hazy golden orangey colour, and it's got a little bit of a fluffy white head, but that seems to have very little retention. That's it starting to go away now, essentially. But let's just get the aroma for this one. It smells very, very sweet. Some quite prominent citrusy aromas in there. You can smell the coriander and some spices in there too, kind of in the background. But it's mainly the sweetness, and you can smell a little bit of maltiness in it as well. This one, incidentally, isn't leaving, when you're moving it around, it's not leaving very much lacing at all in the glass. But like I say, a very sweet aroma, some citrusy things in there, and you can also smell the spices in the background there. And from what I read on this one, there's coriander mixed in as well. So let's just give this one a little taste and see what it's like. This is quite an odd one actually. The flavour's not too strong. It starts off wheaty, then you can get a little bit of the citrus in it, you can taste the spices in the background in this one as well. I would describe this one on the mouth as a kind of, I would say this is a mid-bodied beer. It's surprisingly, it is a little bit watery. It's not too full-bodied. It's fairly carbonated as well. You can feel a good bit of carbonation on the tongue, but it's quite crisp as well. It is actually quite refreshing. Yeah, like I say, it's quite wheaty. The citrus flavour comes through a bit later on in it. You can get the spices in there as well. There's more of a little citrusy, wheaty aftertaste. The aftertaste isn't too strong. It's a little disappointing actually. But yeah, in terms of overall, in terms of American craft beer, I would say this isn't the best one I've had. I've had some really nice American craft beers. It's a fairly nice beer. It's one, to be fair with this one, I would describe it as one that, you know, it's nice enough that you could drink it just on a specific night that you're just wanting to have a party or something like that. But overall, if you're wanting a tasting beer, this one really kind of isn't. It's not one that I would go for if I wanted to taste something particularly special. It's nice enough. It's good for drinking for a party or something like that. There's some nice. It's different actually. It's kind of. I've not really tasted a beer that has that kind of prominent citrusy flavour. This one does have quite a prominent citrusy flavour. But in terms of if you want a Belgian beer, don't be fooled by this one saying Belgian white. It's not anywhere near as good as some of the white beers you can actually get from Belgium itself. And in terms of the American craft beer, there are better ones out there. I would say good for a party. If you've got a choice of more unusual things, I would say go for the more unusual one. This beer's okay. It's not anything exciting. It's unusual because of the citrus flavour. But yeah, so thanks again for watching my beer reviews, and I'll be back soon with another one for you. Please like, subscribe and comment on the videos. Suggest to me different beers that I can review and things like that, particularly American craft beers. It's always a really good one to explore because, you know, there's a ridiculous amount of these breweries. But thanks again for watching, and I shall catch you again soon. Cheers.